Welcome to the UCSB EAP presentation for 2021-2022 South and Southeast Asian Study Abroad programs in India, Singapore, and Thailand. During this session, you will learn about the study abroad opportunities available to you in these countries. My name is Megan Pankratz, and I am the Regional Advisor for India, Singapore, and Thailand in the UCSB EAP office. First, I will review the program in India. UCAP currently offers one program in India, in the nation's largest city and capital, the New Delhi Summer Program. Applicants must meet and maintain a cumulative 2.5 GPA to be eligible. This program is open to sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Do note that the class standing requirements for programs in India, Singapore, and Thailand are based on the number of units completed by departure, not necessarily by the year you are. This summer program brings students from all over the world together to explore the Indian economy, politics, history, culture, development, and more. Since 2013, there has been representation from over 50 countries across 6 continents. Students spend the first 4 weeks taking coursework in New Delhi and the final 2 weeks participating in community service in a rural area. The courses are taught by local faculty and include guest lectures by renowned experts in their field. There are many trips to sites of historic and cultural significance to complement classroom study, including the Taj Mahal. In the past, the service learning component of the program has been organized in partnership with reputable groups such as the World Wildlife Fund, a wilderness preservation organization, schools, and educational nonprofits. The exact projects and location for the service learning component will depend on your interests and project availability for that summer. During the 4-week academic session, students stay at a hotel. During the fieldwork component, students stay in guest houses or hotels. The International Summer School provides security and safe transportation for participants. Here's a highlight reel from summer 2019 featuring photos and videos from site visits, interactive classes, engaging speakers, and volunteer work at rural schools. If you look closely, you may have seen UCSB returnee Kayla in the slideshow. You can read all about her experience on our UCSB EAP blog. Next, I'm going to review the program offerings in Singapore. Singapore, known as the Garden City, is located in the heart of Southeast Asia. Singapore is a multicultural city-state with 4 national languages. There's a little India, Chinatown, an Arab street, and Malay Quarter. Please note that the Biodiversity Summer Program has been canceled for summer 2021. Our programs at the Singapore University of Technology and Design, or SUTD for short, are brand new. The UCEAP Asia Director visited the campus and shared that it's a newer, small, high-tech campus. She said that there was a robot serving coffee during her visit. SUTD has an 11-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. This program can be a good choice for students looking for closer interaction and attention from their professors. SUTD topped the list of emerging engineering schools in the world by a 2018 study commissioned by MIT. Applicants must meet and maintain a cumulative 2.85 GPA to be eligible for this program. This program is only open to engineering and computer science majors. The fall semester programs in Singapore will begin earlier in the summer, but end in time for you to be back for winter quarter at UCSB. If you participate in a spring program in Singapore, you will miss both winter and spring quarters at UCSB. The university is organized into pillars. The 4 open to UCEAP students include the Engineering Product Development pillar, which involves leadership in conception, design, implementation, and operation of innovative technology-intensive products. The next pillar is the Engineering Systems and Design pillar, which involves design, analysis, optimization, and management of large-scale complex systems. The third pillar available is the Information Systems and Technology Design pillar, which involves design integrated software and hardware systems that interact with humans and machines. Lastly is the Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences pillar, which integrates the humanities, arts, and social science disciplines with SUTD's engineering pillars by examining the social role and impacts of innovations in the field of technology and design. Students select the majority of their courses from the pillar in which they are placed. Students live in on-campus dorms. Housing is extremely competitive. For the best chance of securing a room, students should apply as soon as the application system opens. Students who do not receive university housing will need to find their own off-campus accommodations in nearby neighborhoods. Internships are not possible in Singapore immersion programs. This program is impacted. I only have 2 spaces total for fall and year, and 2 spaces for spring. That is why you may notice that the fall year application deadline is due very early winter quarter. If you were to apply and not be selected, you would have plenty of time to apply for another program with a later deadline, such as the National University of Singapore, which we'll hear in a moment. Here are some photos of the campus, buildings, facilities, a dorm room, an eatery, etc. Students have access to the Fabrication Lab makerspace featured in the top middle photo. The other new program offered at the Singapore University of Technology and Design is the STEM Research in Singapore program. This program has the same GPA and class standing requirements as the SUTD program options during the academic year. Prior study of engineering and/or science foundation courses is preferred. With a mid-June start date, the summer program will likely start immediately after spring final exams. Students work full-time on research projects alongside SUTD students and under the supervision of the SUTD faculty and earn 10 UC quarter units. The program is intense, requiring 37.5 hours per week of research. There are typically about 10 to 15 projects available every summer and 2 to 3 research positions for each project. Projects vary year to year, but some past projects include 3D printed holograms, a smart knee brace, and data analytics and machine learning for continuous glucose monitoring for diabetics. Students in the summer program have the same housing option as the fall, spring, and year options at SUTD, on-campus dorms. This program is also impacted. I only have 2 spaces. If you were to apply and not be selected, you would have plenty of time to apply for another program with a later deadline, such as one of the summer research programs in Hong Kong or Taiwan, in which I do not have a limited number of spaces. Next up, we have the National University of Singapore program, or NUS. NUS is ranked consistently as one of the top universities in Singapore, Asia, and the world. To be eligible for this program, applicants must meet and maintain a cumulative 2.85 GPA. Students enroll in 4 classes, or modules as they are called at NUS, for 24 total units. Courses are taught in English by faculty from all over the world. Particular fields of note include engineering and computer sciences, biological sciences, environmental studies, social sciences, and South and Southeast Asian studies. Due to high demand, students will at most be able to take 1 business or economics course. The computer science department is also heavily impacted, so students can expect to be able to get into only 1 to 2 computer science courses. Research is possible through the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program offered by the School of Computing, the Faculty of Engineering, and the Faculty of Science. Students have various university housing options. Some offer a more independent living style, similar to an apartment, and others are more community-oriented with organized activities. Like SUTD, housing is not guaranteed, and students should apply as soon as the application becomes available. Students who don't receive university housing will receive housing-related resources from NUS. Let's hear from Cyric, a double major in earth science and physical geography, about his classes, housing, and life at NUS.
At NUS, I actually took classes with a local student, and I took a total of 8 classes throughout the whole school year, so 4 per semester. And out of those 8, I was able to take 6 for major credit and 2 of the PE credit. And compared to UCSB, I actually really like our NUS teachers, because they do run by a semester system, which means that you have more time to learn material instead of rushing it through. Yeah, I actually like the lectures more because you meet once a week instead of like an SB where you meet 2 or 3 times a week.
What was your housing like?
For housing, I lived in a university-owned apartment. I was lucky to get one of the newer ones called Utah Residence, so it's a newer residence hall. For a total of 1 semester, like 3 or 4 months, I'd say, you pay $2,000 USD, which is pretty worth it for a single room that's furnished. But there was no kitchen or meal plan, so you do have to eat out every meal. But it was still better than the living situation at SB, I'd say.
What was it like living in Singapore in general?
I actually really like Singapore as a city and the country itself because it's so modern and urbanized, and I love the city busy life. But they also have like a calm greenery side to it, and I especially love their public transportation because you can go to any place you want by their subway or take like their buses. But they do have like a more generally rushed, or like their way of life is faster, but they do have really good nightlife and amazing food culture, which is why Singapore is so great. Yeah.
Definitely. Could you tell us about some of the photos on the slide here?
Oh yeah, so the one on the top left over there, that's where the garden by the bay is. So pretty much it's just like an enclosed area of real life plants, and it's like a cloud forest, and it's super cool. And in the middle picture, the top middle, that's first semester when I went, it was Mid-Autumn Festival, and it was by the bay. So they had this whole event where they were giving out free lanterns. And the top right, that's at Newtown at NUS, around the place where I live. And they just have a sign there, and we just took a group picture before one of our friends had to leave because of COVID. And the bottom left over there, that's also Gardens by the Bay. So it reminds me of like Avatar kind of. And the bottom middle picture, that's a hawker center, like cafeteria style place, like a food court. But the food there is really good, and it was actually featured in Crazy Rich Asians. So that's also one of the reasons why we went. And the last picture on the bottom, right there, that's second semester during Chinese New Year. So they take Chinese New Year pretty seriously, and they have fireworks there. And as you can see in the background, that's where Marina Bay Sands is. And the whole skyline is so pretty.
Awesome. So lots of Instagrammable photo ops for sure. And Cyrus, you had applied to the year-long program. What might you tell students to encourage them to consider studying abroad for longer?
I feel like a lot of people don't choose to study for a year-long program because they have this fear of missing out an IB or leaving everyone else behind an IB. But that was also one of my fears in the beginning. But the more I thought about it, like studying abroad is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and obviously you do want to go for the longer term because you do pay for an airline ticket, so you do want to stay longer. And a lot of my friends who just went for one semester, they regret not signing up for the entire year. And there were other friends I met from different universities. They weren't even given the option to sign up for the full year. So that's why at UCEP, it's like so lucky we were given this choice to go for the whole year. And if you do go for the year, you will actually be so immersed in the culture, and it takes time to be like immersed, to get used to it. And by the time, if you do go for one semester, by the time you feel like a local, it's like time to go already. But if you go for the full year, you have the other semester to experience that, which makes a huge difference. And after studying abroad, when you come back, like IB will still be there, and your friends will still be there. So you should definitely take this opportunity to study for a year, because there isn't a lot of chances in life where you'll get to study abroad for a full year, travel, make friends, and get to finish your degree. So that's why. Yeah.
For sure, definitely take Cyric's advice if you can. Cyric, has your study abroad experience, how has it impacted your future goals?
During my time there, I did take some specific classes that were on Southeast Asia, especially the climate and weather, which made me kind of want to focus more on that for like maybe grad school or something. And even after grad school, like thinking like way out there, like in the long term, Singapore is like a city that I want to go back and maybe even work for like a few years, because it's like, yeah, I just like it there so much.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of our returnees return to their host countries in the future, whether it be for work or graduate school. Let's see, lastly, why would you recommend this program in particular? And we had a question in the chat. What was your favorite part of the program?
So I'll answer the NUS part first. So I'd highly recommend NUS program because, as Megan said, it is one of the best universities in Asia, and having the chance to study abroad there with all the other Singaporeans is just amazing. And the whole atmosphere of Singapore, the whole culture is so different to SB, and it's really eye-opening. And not to mention, like Singapore, it is in the heart of Southeast Asia, and pretty much the whole Southeast Asia is just one like 2 hours ride away, which means not only you become open-minded like academically, but you also get to travel and really get street smart and be like open yourself up to like a whole new like different types of culture. So my favorite program would be there's in Singapore itself would be able to like visit the Marina Bay Sands hotel and also get to swim in the swimming pool there. But besides just in Singapore, maybe my favorite part of the program would be going to Thailand with my friends. Yeah, that was awesome, really. And there was not really. The culture shock. So in Singapore, they do have like a lot of culture and a lot of different national languages. Pretty much the whole population can speak English, so there wasn't really a language barrier. They do use a lot of what is known as Singlish, so just a combination of English with their like Malay or like Chinese words, but it isn't really there isn't really a big much of a culture shock. Yeah.
Let's now hear from political science major Jennifer.
Hi, sorry, I'm Jennifer. I was just there this past semester and it was the best experience of my life. And similar to Cyril, I also lived in Newtown because that's where most of the study abroad students live. And it's also the biggest residence where you can meet the most people. And I'm here. And so before I went abroad, I had a couple friends who went to Singapore and they kind of stressed like the academic rigor of NUS. And at first going in, I was like really, really nervous because NUS is such a good school. And when I got there, I found out that it's really not that much different. And I actually had better grades abroad than I do in SB, which is crazy to think about considering everything I did do while I was abroad. In terms of housing, yeah, I lived in Newtown, and living in Singapore, the public transportation is the best. It's so efficient, and you can literally travel across the entire country using the MRT, which is their subway station. And we did that all the time because spending money on Uber was kind of expensive. And my study abroad experience, it really impacted my future career because it was abroad when I realized that I wanted to do law school. Because in all of my classes, I learned a lot about Singaporean law and how it's so different than American law. And through meeting the locals, it also made me realize that they live so differently. And it's like not a bad thing, but it's just like seeing the dichotomy of how we live and how they live. It just really like solidified my future career aspirations. And the photos on the slide, I traveled a lot. So I went this past semester, and the bad thing was that COVID hit. But before COVID hit, I was able to travel to a lot of different countries. On the top left, that was Australia. I went there during their spring break, which is a week long. And in the second picture right next to it, that was Thailand. I visited Bangkok for a weekend, and everything was so cheap and the food was so good. The third picture is also Thailand. We went to this like rooftop bar and everything was so cheap. Like the whole meal in the picture was maybe $5. And then on the right, we took a boat ride to visit the temples in Thailand. And then bottom left, I got to see some koalas in Australia. And then the picture right next to it, it's this famous pink church in Vietnam, which I also went during the semester break. And the picture on the bottom, that's a place in Singapore called Clarke Quay, and it's basically super, super like futuristic designed, and there's a lot of like restaurants and like clubs and bars and everything like that. And then on the right, I'm pretty sure it's a temple that we went to in Thailand. But yeah, I got the chance to travel just because everything is so cheap. Like flight tickets were maybe $80 USD. And because Singapore is like right next to Malaysia, usually people take a bus there just because like that's how close it is.
Did you experience any culture shock?
I didn't experience any culture shock. Something that I found really interesting was that I met a lot of other study abroad students, and they were all from Europe. And after talking to them, I realized a lot of Europeans love studying abroad in Southeast Asia. So not only was I able to be friends with locals, I also made friends with a lot of people from Europe.
All right, the final UCAP program offered in Singapore is the Summer Global Internship Singapore program. Applicants must meet and maintain a cumulative 2.5 GPA to be eligible for this program. Due to Singapore immigration visa requirements, participants must be between the age of 18 and 25 for the duration of the program. This is another mid-June start program, which will begin immediately following spring quarterfinals. This is an 8-week full-time internship, and when I say full-time, I mean full-time. The concept of full-time can mean more than the American 40-hour work week in Singapore. Internship placements can range from the innovative startups, global or multinational companies, or nonprofit organizations. Past gauchos interned with a tech startup, research laboratories and institutes, a law firm, a nonprofit aimed at ending homelessness, just to name a few. Some of them are featured on this slide at tabling and network events for their organizations. Our partner, CIEE, works with applicants to match them with potential companies and organizations based on their academic and career goals, interests, and backgrounds. The program includes an integrated academic course that meets once a week with both online and in-person components. Students stay in either an international student hostel or a hotel. Here are some recommended industries and sample internship placements in business, marketing, graphic design, non-governmental organizations, and more. It can be difficult to find internships in Singapore relating to education, healthcare, politics and government, and psychology. Now onto our 4 programs in Thailand, which is known as the Land of Smiles. All programs are hosted by Thammasat University. The university has a long history of student involvement in the politics and social movements of Thailand. Its guiding philosophy is on service to society, social equality, and social justice. Thammasat is the 2nd oldest university in the country. The campus students study at is surrounded by famous landmarks like the Grand Palace and the Temple of the Emerald Buddha, and lies along a river. Some students even commute by water taxi to school. I'll begin with the summer program, all of which are impacted. First is the International Economics program, open to econ majors to study the modern economic, business, social, and political climate in Southeast Asia. This is a newer program and I have yet to send any gauchos, but I was able to sit in on one of the classes during a site visit to Thailand, and the program was well received by the first cohort of UC participants. The pictures on the slide are from that class visit. Students were delivering group presentations that day. Applicants must meet and maintain a cumulative 2.85 GPA to be eligible. Notice the mid-June start. All summer programs in Thailand begin in mid-June. Students enroll in 2 courses on this program, Topics in International Economics and Topics in Development Economics. Each course includes lectures, discussions, guest speakers, and visits to companies and organizations in Bangkok. A unique aspect of this program is that it includes a week-long study trip to a neighboring country or even 2. Past years' trips have been to Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. On all programs in Thailand, students have the option to live in pre-arranged apartments. Students can also choose to arrange their own housing on this program. This program is impacted. I only have 2 spaces. If you were to apply and not be selected, I would highly encourage you to consider going during the fall, spring, or year. Thammasat University has a very strong economics program. Here's a testimonial from a student that was part of the one and only group of UC students to participate so far. As you can read, their feedback is really positive. They enjoyed the interactive, engaging project-based learning and the excursions outside of the classroom. The next Thammasat University summer program is our Summer Health program. This program has the same GPA and class standing requirements as the International Economics program. There are no major restrictions. No prior study of public health is required. Classroom instruction is combined with hands-on field-based learning. After a prep course on Thai and Burmese language and culture, students embark on a series of field excursions. Students spend time along the border between Thailand and Myanmar, or Burma, and observe firsthand the public health challenges facing the local populations. Students work on group projects to come up with possible solutions to address these issues. Students enroll in 3 courses in this program. 1, Mobility and Border Health. This course examines challenges and health realities for border populations, including migrants and refugees. 2, Health Realities and Border Populations. This course takes an interactive approach to learning about border health issues and offers the chance to observe, interact, and problem solve with local community members. And 3, Southeast Asian language and culture. This course teaches the basics of Thai and Burmese language and culture as preparation for interactions with the local communities. Students stay in pre-arranged apartments in Bangkok for the first portion of the program and in a rural village homestay for the fieldwork portion. This program is impacted, and I only have 4 spaces for this upcoming summer. There's also a community health summer program offered in Ghana. One of the summer 2018 participants from UCSB, Miriam Perez, has a great vlog series chronicling her time on this program. I highly recommend checking it out. The last summer Thammasat University program is our new Summer Internship Bangkok program that is scheduled to launch in summer 2021. To be eligible for this program, applicants must meet and maintain a cumulative 2.5 GPA. This 8-week full-time internship program includes 2 courses for 10 total units. The Internship Community-Based Learning course, which involves meetings and assignments organized and managed by the Thammasat University Internship Coordinator, and the Global Academic Immersion course, which includes a series of lectures and workshops on Thai organizational structures and culture. The School of Global Studies at Thammasat University helps place students in a variety of fields, such as community development, human rights, governance, and education. Students intern for about 30 to 35 hours per week. A list of partner organizations can be found under the Academics tab of the program page on the UCEAP website. If nominated for this program, you will be asked to submit a resume and to rank your top 3 internship choices in your host university application. Flexibility is key. Students are expected to receive their final internship placement by the end of April. Students can stay in pre-arranged apartments or secure their own accommodation. This program is impacted. I only have 4 spaces available. If not selected, I would recommend looking into the Summer Global Internship programs in Toronto, Canada, Shanghai, China, Berlin, Germany, or Cape Town, South Africa. There's also a new summer internship program being offered in Prague, Czech Republic, all with later application deadlines. Lastly, we have the immersion program at Thammasat University. Based on last year's estimated cost, the year-long program is the second most affordable UCEAP program, coming in at $10,000 less than a year at UCSB. Day-to-day costs and rent in Bangkok are much cheaper than Santa Barbara and Isla Vista. You can get a decent-sized meal for about $1. Applicants must maintain a cumulative 2.85 GPA to be eligible for this program. Students need to have junior standing or 90 units or above by departure. Like Singapore, the fall semester programs in Thailand will begin earlier in the summer but end in time for you to be back for winter quarter at UCSB. If you participate in a spring program in Thailand, you will miss both winter and spring quarters at UCSB. Students enroll in 5 courses for 25 units per semester. UCAP students choose from coursework in English in the following departments: Economics, Business Administration, Thai Studies, British and American Studies, Politics and International Relations, and Social Policy and Development. Students have to take a majority of their courses, 3 out of 5, in their assigned department. Language study is optional and available at beginning and intermediate levels. The students featured in the picture on the slide are in their university uniforms. Depending on which department you're in, you may have to wear your uniform every day or just for exams and field trips. Past returnees really enjoyed wearing the uniforms. Not only did it make choosing what to wear every day an easy task, but it shows locals that you're a student and not a tourist. They were able to get student discounts and were less likely to be ripped off by taxi drivers. Thammasat University is highly revered, similar to an Ivy League school here in the US. Internships are possible and very popular on this program. Internships are offered through the Social Policy and Development Department. Students enroll in an internship course and intern for approximately 8 to 10 hours per week. Past internship placements have been in areas such as human rights, marketing, education, and environmental studies. Students choose to live in a pre-arranged apartment or find their own housing on this program. Let's hear from Josh about his experience living and studying in Thailand for an entire year.
You should all go abroad. There's no reason why you shouldn't go abroad. All of my friends right now who are seniors who didn't go abroad, regardless of their major, all really regret it and are pretty bummed and are trying to make up for it in the summer and like travel and stuff, but it's not the equivalent of living abroad at all. I took a combination of econ classes as well as some GEs, which made my course load interesting, but also not as difficult. I was able to take Thai cuisine, which was awesome, where we just cooked in class, or Thai media, where we watched film. I also took international trade theory, which was an econ elective, which abroad was invaluable. Like, all we talked about was South Asian trade theory stuff that you just wouldn't get here. That was just absurdly fascinating. A lot of my friends had the Freeman Scholarship, which you do an internship abroad, which they loved. One of them was working with this group called Empower, where they met with like a class of like Bangkok sex workers, and they taught them English and stuff. So like really cool, meaningful stuff. Another one was a few students worked with these like Burmese immigrants and helping them in English. You know, like really cool, like impactful stuff that's like really meaningful. This is a picture of me and my housemate now on a thing called the Ghost Tower. It's an abandoned tower. During Thailand's financial crisis in 2007, they built this high-rise and then it stopped being built. And so we got to kind of mess around there. And it was just a really cool view of the entire city. There's so many reasons to go abroad. A big reason for me was I wanted to eat the best stuff around. And going to Thailand, like I ate well every day. Every single day I could eat however much I wanted for like, some days I think I spent $5 total on all of my meals combined. Like all of them. And I got shakes and alcohol. Like it's like unbelievable. That was $1, that was $1, that was $1. That food was $1.50, pretty expensive for the day, but we were treating ourselves. I went to Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Japan, India, Indonesia for like really, really reasonable amounts of money. I did a lot of hiking, a lot of camping. If you're really into adventure stuff, I highly, highly recommend Southeast Asia, especially Thailand. I mean, the greenery there is unbelievable. You know, that's me with an elephant. It was awesome. It's cliche, but it was dope. A big part of the experience was me meeting other international students who had the same kind of desire to go abroad. Some of these people are EAP people, but most of them are international students. A lot of Dutch, some Finnish, Spanish, French. Like, it was really cool. I have to say is like, follow your gut. In the end, going abroad to Thailand got me a job with an accounting firm, Ernst & Young, before any of my peers, because it looked really good. Stay for a year. Please stay for a year. It's super different than staying for a semester. There comes a point like month 6 when you wake up in Bangkok and it's like 110 degrees and you go and you eat $1 pad thai and like that's just normal. It's not even exciting anymore. It's just normal. And then you're like, whoa, I live here. Like I actually live here. I think that moment's like invaluable. I mean, all of my friends who left after the first semester and came back to Santa Barbara, like, you know, they were stoked to be back. But I think just the moment of waking up and realizing this is my home. Like, this is my apartment. This is my stuff. These are my books. These are my classes. You know, like, these are my Thai friends. These are my, you know, international friends. Like, this is, like, actually where I live. I wouldn't trade that for the world. Please go to Thailand. Please do. You'll love it. I promise.
Financial aid, and that's loans, grants, scholarships, travels with you. Your financial aid is repackaged according to the overall estimated cost of your program. Be sure to get an estimate of what your personal financial aid package could look like for your term abroad by using the EAP calculator or contacting finaidEAP@sa.ucsb.edu. We recommend applying to as many study abroad scholarships as you're eligible for. There are UC EAP specific scholarships, UCSB EAP specific scholarships, and national scholarships. There are Asia-specific scholarships too. If you apply to the Summer Global Internship Singapore program, you may be eligible for CIEE-specific scholarships also. To learn more about finances and scholarship opportunities, I encourage you to attend one of our costs and scholarships info sessions held on Fridays at 3 p.m. One specific UCSB EAP scholarship is the Freeman Internship Scholarship. Josh alluded to it in his video. If you are interested in interning for UC credit on one of the eligible programs in Singapore or Thailand, you should definitely apply to this scholarship. I've included photos from past Freeman scholars on the slide. From left to right, we have Allison on the far left of the photo who interned with far right of the photo, with the Education Development Center in Thailand. Next is Linso in the front with her students. She taught English at a nonprofit organization called Courageous Kitchen. In the center photo, that's Kesh on the right with her internship supervisor. She actually found her internship with Intern News by way of a Google search. The following two photos are in Singapore. Wano on the left interned with a luxury jewelry curator, and Robert on the right in white is seen sitting in his research lab. We'll be holding an info session on this specific scholarship on November 17th at 4 p.m. I hope you will join. Quay was a Freeman Internship Scholarship recipient. Let's hear about her internship experience in Thailand.
I am currently interning for Boat People SOS, a nonprofit organization that helps the refugee community in Thailand. Our office provides to immigrants a variety of programs to help support them. These ranges from educational to financial help and even legal support. I started out with teaching English, and I also visited the Immigration Detention Center. Then afterward, I was told about a research project on human rights. Internship experience had definitely made a big impact in my studying abroad trip. Not only is it keeping me busy because I'm out with my family, but also I'm learning a lot about refugee crisis, human rights work, and not only that, I'm also gaining a lot of experience with community building and education development in a new setting. So I think in the process of helping someone, I'm also gaining a lot on my part. Without a doubt, the Freeman Scholarship paved the way for me to find the internship I want to do that would fit my career. And more than that, beside the financial reward, we also get to network with our other Freeman scholars who's in my program, and we get to share our experience. Not to mention, we also get academic units, so we take one less classes. So my last words would be to apply if you qualify. I know you might think it's hard, but there's tons of opportunities for you. I didn't think I would find one, and it could be hard, but I'm sure there will be at least one organization that will fit what you're looking for and vice versa. Good luck.
So Quay actually studied abroad as a fifth year and was offered a job at her internship organization. So she stayed and worked in Thailand after her program was over. So you never know what kind of opportunities, professional opportunities, and making those connections and expanding your network, what that could do for your future. This concludes the presentation.